the Ubisoft Conference was pretty much as expected, as most years. One of the things that they made a thing of at the beginning and made a very big thing at the end, having Guillemot at the end, talk about it this year being the 30th year of Ubisoft. So this is the 30th year of Ubisoft's existence, and congratulations to the company. You've made some of my most favourite games over the years. This year, mixed bag, as usual. With Ubisoft, they're basically going as normal, really. Some good games, some bad games. Alicia Tyler returned again as host. Alicia Tyler's very good at it. She didn't try and force a meme again. She made a couple of references to the other one, like the woman would and stuff like that and things like that, which is, yeah, but now it's just dumb jokes. They opened with this big Just Dance number. It was literally down to the point of, it was colourful, animals in suits and all sorts of things like that. It was an opening where I look at it and go like, I think I have taken the drugs, who has spiked my coffee. It was a good way to boost and to start with vigour and energy, which is very good, especially for them, which is quite good. I think for the last couple of years they've always opened with Just Dance, because Just Dance is one of their biggest franchises. It's cross-platform, so everyone's going to know what it is, or at least heard of it. And it's very simple, and you can start with energy. The big multiple dance number. Last year they did it, and the big show-off was, oh look, you can now use your phone as a wavy thing, because everything's not the Wii. And then they went into Ghost Recon Wildlands with a very, very long gameplay thing, and it must be a habit of doing all of the Ghost Recon stuff with this really, really, really shittily scripted multiplayer chatter going over it. Because for one, no one's that professional. It's like, we have two tangos in front of me and all sort of things like that, and it's like, I'm pinned down. It's like, no, they don't usually say that. They go, holy shit, I'm being shot at. It's like, fuck, dudes. The least amount of words possible, and usually involving swears. And depending on what multiplayer servers go on, usually some other epithets as well. Wildlands seems perfectly functional. It's a Ghost Recon game. Everything's good. Got the Ghost Recon sort of shooter style and that sort of type of polish. It's very multiplayer centric. It's essentially co-op. There's probably going to be some sort of multiplayer aspect, but that's going to be separate. By now, if you've played other Ghost Recon games, it isn't like other Tom Clancy games. It is sort of in the way that it is very co-op-y, but this isn't Siege. This isn't like Splinter Cell. It's very modern shootery. The next game they showed off was South Park: The Fractured But Whole. I think if you're going to start saying the title, you have to have that sort of obvious pause. Because the obvious gag, but then if you're actually trying to be serious and actually trying to talk about the game critically, you have to go South Park: The Fractured But Whole. So they showed gameplay off of it, and one good thing that was good was they brought out Trey Parker and Matt Stone again. Those guys are fan-fucking-tastic. I love them. No holds barred. Great. It is. I think the thing that's happened now is that because they've made the Stick of Truth was reportedly and almost knowingly sucked getting that through development, because at times there was major troubles in development, and getting that through was a giant pain in the arse at times. But I think because they've laid the foundations for it with Stick of Truth, they seem a lot more joyful, a lot more happier. They seem to like the development a lot more, because before it seemed to be very stressful. But I think loads of the back work is done, so they don't have to worry about the engine. It's done. They have one. They can spend a lot more time writing. They've already got the writing staff all connected, all the people writing for the game. Yeah, essentially now they can, the Trey Parker Matt Stone can now franchise this now with Ubisoft. It'd be quite good if they do that. But the good thing is that giving themselves enough time for development. Coming out on December 6th. You can pre-order now and get Stick of Truth for free. 4 stuff that they actually talked about of the actual game. There's the class system is still there. Slightly different as for the superhero theme. Not going to have like majors or whatever, but it's the superhero theme. But yeah, they showed essentially the first level, or big chunks of the first level, which was very funny. It's a direct sequel to Stick of Truth, where all the kids of South Park have moved on from fantasy onto onto superheroes, and Cartman is planning out his the movie franchise. There's a lot of digs at Marvel with their movie franchising stuff. As Cartman is basically put himself in the Iron Man role with the Coon. There's a split. It looks like it'll be Kenny's superhero team and Cartman's superhero team fighting it out. There's the tragic backstory, which, by the looks of it, is going to be the same as everyone. If it's random, that'd be quite impressive. See if they actually have multiple scenarios, because essentially it was done mostly through cutscene. There's one bit where you can fuck with it, and really fuck with it, and having sort of Cartman telling the story, going, just leave. He left his room. He left his room. Fucking leave your room. The backstory that they had was it's like, oh, you woke up and you heard your mum, and you heard sounds from your mum, and so you went to check, and when you got to her room, you were shocked to find out that your dad fucked your mom. If they have multiple ones like that, where they have like, because the actual story bit is done over cutscene, then that'd be fun. It's fantastic. It's a South Park game, and South Park games have, especially it's following Stick of Truth a lot, so it is fantastic. Looks absolutely hilarious. Looks amazing. That's definitely one to get excited about. It's got that South Park polish. It's got that South Park humor in it as well. So it looks great. It looks fun, and it's got a lot more dynamic as well, because a lot of new mechanics into it, especially with the combat. And then they went on to The Division, which was okay. So The Division. They had a little Ubisoft. They were part of the EA thing, where they were talking about the add-on DLC thing, The Underground, but they were also announcing another expansion which is going to be coming soon, called the Survival Expansion 2. They had most of a cutscene, but it's a Division expansion. If you play The Division, then And then they went into the VR section of things with 2 games involving VR. The first one was a game called Eagle Flight. They were showing off with Oculus devices. It's a VR flight game where you are an eagle in a essentially post-apocalyptic Paris, where you can fly around and, like an eagle, fly around as an eagle, capturing stuff and killing the other birds. It seemed fine. I'm not entirely sure how people will cope with the VR, because it's all about speed and quick and maneuverability, and so suddenly you're going and so your vision's going to. They had 6 people using the VR stuff at the same time, which was quite impressive. But then they shrunk down the number of VR bits on stage and talked about Star Trek Bridge Cruise, which is a Star Trek co-op game where you and 3 friends become a ship crew. They even had LeVar Burton come out and actually talk about it and got him to play it and stuff like that, which was... The thing is, it seems very good and it seems very fun, and I think with Kenny and Chris, being the Star Trek fans that they are, will probably really, really want to play it. But it's a co-op VR game, and so that requires 3 friends having VR. I think that's the main problem with both Eagle Flight and Star Trek Bridge Cruise. Less with Eagle Flight, because Eagle Flight can be quite competitive, can be just competitive, so you can just go against random people. But with Star Trek Bridge Cruise, it is a co-op game. VR devices are quite expensive, and some people may not want to get it. Going for VR games that are competitive is sort of understandable, because you can play by yourself. But with co-op ones, it means that your friends need to buy VR devices as well. And some people are not going to be able to afford it, or they just don't want to. Then came Greatly Beardy Man, as I started calling him. For Honor came along, It looks great. It looks very, 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 very fun. They had this CGI trailer to go with it as well. It actually looks very fun, and it looks like they were showing off the story campaign, which is very Dynasty Warriors-ish, because it's you as big hero man smashing the shit out of loads of people, and every now and then big man comes up, you have to smash the shit out of him and move on. At points of tension, it slows down, but then when you get to the action of, it's like, right, charge the gates, it's like, yeah, there's 20 people, go nuts. So, yeah, that game seems very, very fun. Part of me really wants to play that one. It comes out 14th of February next year. They made a big joke about it coming out on Valentine's Day, because it's, yeah, Deadpool made the same joke this year. Then the Grow Home dev came along and said, we are doing a new game called Grow Up. You are out of the eyes of Mom, of the computer screen of that is Mom, and venturing out into, I'm guessing, space? Grow Home was a fantastic little game. Was depending on your feelings or depending on your playstyle, it's a brief experience, but it had a lot of heart. It's like the phrase, good things come in small packages. Grow Home was one of those sort of things. It's very well made, very well made, a lot of heart, lots of style, very compact. It didn't outwear its welcome. Then I took the drugs. The most upbeat thing, the most 80s and mad thing I have ever fucking seen through this entire E3 thing so far was Trials of the Blood Dragon. And if you can, breaking that down, it is a Trials game that incorporates the Blood Dragon stuff from Far Cry 3, that standalone DLC stuff. So it's Trials of the Blood Dragon, and fuck, it looks fucking cool. It's a Trials game, so it's already very fun. Trials games these days are very well made, very fun. And this is just called Blood Dragon stuff. So lots of 80s and power code. Yeah! I think they've taken to heart, because last year the big thing with Trials was the new DLC of that was basically pictures of a cat with golden deagles riding a unicorn farting rainbows. That was the fucking Trials game last year. Now this year they went, fuck it, let's do a callback and go with like max power, 80s power. And then came a lull in the entire thing when they went off and talked about movies. I told you they were going to talk about movies. Didn't go as far as pulling out Fassbender, although they did kind of do that in the VT. They had this big making of thing, but they did talk about it, and I was fucking right when I said they were going to do this push into the movieverse and make more movies because they were wanting to do Watch Dogs. Okay, I did write it down after the fucking Watch Dogs thing. Okay, I wrote it down in the wrong place. I was right when they wanted to do more move into the movieverse, because they're planning on doing a Watch Dogs movie. Yay, boring Aiden Pierce in his boring hat. Whether this is a good idea or not entirely depends on their movies not sucking dick. And as I said before in the primer video, my thoughts on Assassin's Creed movie is that it looks like a good adaptation, but being a good adaptation and being a good movie are two separate things. Because if you look at things like Resident Evil, it's a good movie, but a shit adaptation. And the Transformers movies, they're a good movie, they're a good action blockbuster movie, but a very shit adaptation. And then the second to last game they were showing off was their new fancy IP, which was Watch Dogs 2. Yeah, they showed off Watch Dogs 2, which looks like Watch Dogs 1, but without Aiden Pierce. Looks like with a character that's got a lot more charisma than Aiden Pierce. There's a lot. The hacking mechanics seem to have stayed the same. You have a lot more peripherals. Like you have a little drone thing you can fly around and scan the area with. You have a little, almost. As soon as I saw it, I just went, "That looks like a fucked up Segway." They said it was like a hacked security drone or something, but it just looked like a fucking Segway. Then it jumped like 3 feet in the air. I was like, okay. Looks good. It looks better. The one thing that I'm going to say almost obligatory is that we said this about Watch Dogs 1. You pull that shit once and we hold a grudge. And then Yves Guillemot came out to announce their new fancy game. Steep. And as soon as I saw it, as soon as I saw the snow, as soon as I saw the mountains, I just went, isn't this SSX? I really liked SSX. I have SSX, even the PS3 one. I have that. It was great. And I look at this and go like, isn't this SSX? And I just couldn't take that feeling. It's like, it's got skateboarding, so did they. Skiing, so did they. You can do tricks, so did they. There's big surgical bailing, so did they, kind of. So I couldn't, I just looked at it and go like, this is just like SSX. But no one bought SSX, which is the reason why there hasn't been another SSX in this new set of consoles, which annoys the shit out of me. You can go in the mountains, you can do co-op, you can record your epic stunts, your epic bails as well. You can record them. You have control of the camera, GTA cinema thing style, where you can do the thing, and go in slow motion and watch all of your face just. Yeah, Steep seems great. I am very interested. I like this. I like those sort of games. You had me interested in snowboarding and snow, and doing tricks, and the wingsuits. So, for me, it looks very, very fun. I like it. And then they ended on this very congratulatory moment, this very happy moment of Yves Guillemot coming out on stage again after doing the big announcement for Steep, and basically saying, "Thank you for 35 years. We are a games company. We wouldn't exist if you didn't buy our shit," essentially. And the thing I have to say is Ubisoft has made some of my most favourite games. Like some of the recent Far Cry ones have been great. The first few Assassin's Creeds were great. Sands of Time is still one of my most favourite games of all time. So Rayman is still one of my most favourite characters. The Ubisoft Conference was very much almost by the numbers. It was almost the same procedure as every year. They have the usual thing of even the beginning and the ending are the same as most years, where it's Just Dance opens to bring the energy and to make everyone happy and cheerful, and then Yves Guillemot comes out of the end and goes, "This is our new game. This is our brand spanking new announcement." Yeah, I'm trying to think of a tagline. Ubisoft. Normal year. Yeah, probably the best I can do. Yeah, that probably sums it up really.